Good afternoon. In the previous class, we have seen the theorem for solving the linear homogeneous recurrence relations with constant coefficients, and also when we had two roots, that was we had R1 and R2. Both of the roots were real and distinct. Okay. Now, based on that, we have even solved a problem. The problem was given as an is equal to an minus 1 plus 2an minus 2. Now in today's class we will see an problem for Fibonacci numbers which I have already solved but which was not explained in the earlier lectures. So in today's class the question is find an explicit formula for the Fibonacci numbers. So in this case, to find the explicit formula for the Fibonacci numbers, we need the recurrence relation along with the initial condition. So the recurrence relation for our Fibonacci numbers is Fn is equal to, so this is the solution, Fn is equal to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2, while the initial conditions are F0 is equal to 0 and F1 is equal to 1. Now in this case, we have to take the characteristic equation. For the characteristic equation, let's write it as step 1 so that you understand it properly. So Fn should be replaced by r power n is equal to r power n minus 1 plus r power n minus 2. We replace an by r power n. Okay. Now to find the characteristic equation, we divide the entire equation by the smallest term among the three, r power n minus 2. So we will get r square is equal to r plus 1, which can be written as r square minus r minus 1 is equal to 0. Now once this is done, we need to find the characteristic roots. This is our step 2. Characteristic roots. What are the roots of the equation? For that we can use the formula minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. I won't explain this in detail. I'll just write the roots, which will be r1 is equal to 1 plus root 5 by 2 and r2 is equal to 1 minus root 5 by 2. Okay. Now after that, we have to write our general solution. What is the general solution? Fn is equal to alpha into, okay, let me just mention it over here. An will be equal to alpha r1 power n plus beta r2 power n. Okay, so we have to substitute the values of r1 and r2. 1 plus root 5 by 2 whole power n plus beta into 1 minus root 5 by 2 whole power n. Now, what are alpha and beta? There are some constants. Now, what should you do? We have to substitute n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1 in your equation 1. Let's name it as equation 1. When you substitute n is equal to 0, you will get f0 is equal to alpha plus beta. F0 value is given already, so we will substitute the value of f0, which is 0. So alpha plus beta is equal to 0. Then f1 is n is equal to 1. Then we will get alpha into 1 plus root 5 by 2 plus beta into 1 minus root 5 by 2, and we have f1 is equal to 1, so I'll just replace the value. So this will entire equation will be equal to 1. Okay, so this can be written as alpha into 1 plus root 5 by 2 plus beta into 1 minus root 5 by 2 is equal to 1. Now after that, we have to solve these two equations. Let's name these equations and equation 2 and 3. Solve 2 and 3. Find the value of alpha and beta. So we will get, when we find the value of alpha and beta from equation 2 and 3, we will get 1 by root 5 for alpha and beta will be minus 1 by root 5. Now what should you do? We got alpha and beta. Now finally, I'm writing the solution over here. So at the end, the Fibonacci numbers, we have to substitute the alpha and beta value in equation 1. So let me write it over here. Substitute alpha, beta in equation 1. So when you substitute alpha and beta in equation 1, we will get Fn is equal to 1 by root 5 into 1 plus root 5 by 2 whole power n minus 1 by root 5 into 1 minus root 5 by 2 whole power n. Now this is your solution for the explicit formula for the Fibonacci numbers. Why do we need this? So I've already said this in the earlier lectures also, that if we want to find F50, for F50 we will need F49 and F48. But over here, if you want F50, you can directly substitute 1 plus root 5 by 2 whole power 50 and you will get the values directly. You don't need to depend on the previous sequence. So that is the reason we find the explicit formulas for our recurrence relation. Now we will see the next theorem. So this is the theorem 2. Let C1 and C2 be real numbers with C2 not equal to 0. Okay. Now suppose that we have our recurrence relations characteristic equation in this form: r square minus C1r minus C2 is equal to 0, and it has only one root. That is, your roots are real and equal. We have equal roots. Okay. So if R1 is 3, then R2 is also 3. Those kind of problems. Then what will be the general formula for that recurrence relation? So a sequence AN is a solution of the recurrence relation AN is equal to C1 AN minus 1. So this is C1 AN minus 1 plus C2 AN minus 2 if and only if An is equal to alpha 1 into r naught power n. What is r naught? The equal root. So instead of using r1, r2, we are simply using the notation r naught. So An is equal to alpha 1 r naught power n plus alpha 2. So in the computer systems, we get alpha in this form. And also, I've already mentioned in the previous class that mostly alpha 1 and alpha 2 are used as the constants, and so that students do not get confused, I prefer using alpha beta over here. Now I am continuing with alpha 1 and alpha 2. So the general solution will be An is equal to alpha 1 r naught power n plus alpha 2 into the changes over here. We multiply n into r naught power n. Okay. So in the previous problem, we were using alpha 2 or beta, or you can even replace it with beta into r2 power n. But over here, since the root is same, we will be using a factor of n, which is n into r naught power n, where here alpha 1 and alpha 2 are constants. This is alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay. Now based on this, we will solve a problem. So the question is, what is the solution of the recurrence relation So recurrence relation is given as follows: An is equal to 6an minus 1 minus 9an minus 2, and initial conditions are given as a0 is equal to 1, a1 is equal to 6. Now in this case, first and foremost, we have to find the characteristic equation. So I'll just mention the steps: characteristic equation, characteristic roots, general solution, then finally finding alpha 1 and alpha 2. This is the way to do the problem. Now based on that, the solution is as follows. So an, first let's take all the terms on the left hand side. So an is minus 6an minus 1 plus 9an minus 2 is equal to 0. Now replace an with r power n. So r power n minus 6 r power n minus 1 plus 9 r power n minus 2 is equal to 0. Now what is the next step? To find the characteristic equation, we have to divide it with the lowest terms of r. So divide it with r power n minus 2. Now for dividing by r power n minus 2, we will get r square minus 6r plus 9 is equal to 0. Now this is basically here r minus 3 whole square is equal to 0. The roots are r1 is 3 and also r2 is 3. That is, the roots are real and equal. Okay, so the roots are real and equal. Now if the roots are real and equal, then what is the general solution? Let's mention the general solution. The general solution is given as an is equal to alpha 1 r naught power n plus alpha 2 n into r naught power n. Okay, this is the general solution. Now we have got our r naught. R naught is basically the only single root that we have, which is 3. So an is equal to alpha 1 into 3 power n plus alpha 2 into n into 3 power n. Okay. Now what are these alpha 1 and alpha 2? Just mention it. So alpha 1 and alpha 2 are for some constants alpha 1 and alpha 2. Alright. Now we have to use the initial conditions. So let's write using the initial conditions. Using the initial conditions, we will put n is equal to 0. What will happen when we put n is equal to 0? A naught is equal to alpha 1 into r naught power n. So basically power 0 will give us 1. So I naught is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2. We know we have been given the value of a naught. So just substitute a naught value. Alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is equal to 1. All right. Now the next is put n is equal to 1. Okay, let's name our equation. So this is our equation 1. Equation 1. Now we are putting n is equal to 1. When we put n is equal to 1, we get a1 is equal to, what are the roots? 3. So alpha 1 into 3 power 1 plus alpha 2 into n into 3 power 1. So this will give us a1, and also substitute the value of a1. A1 is given as 6 here. So 3 alpha 1 plus 3n alpha 2 is equal to 6, and alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is equal to 1. Actually, I think I have created a mistake over here. When we put n is equal to 0, when we put n is equal to 0 over here, then you will only get alpha 1. So let me just clear this part. Okay, so in this equation, if you put n is equal to 0, so a0 is equal to alpha 1 into 3 power 0 is 1 plus alpha 2 into 0 into 3 power 0. So alpha 2 into 0 into 3 power 0, which is 1, but we are multiplying with 0, so we will get only alpha 1. A naught is equal to alpha 1 implies alpha 1 is directly found out, which is 1. Okay, so we have alpha 1 directly over here. So alpha 1 is given as 1. Since alpha 1 is equal to 1, what will be the value of alpha 2? And over here again n is equal to 1, so we will get 3 alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 is equal to 6. Alpha 1 is 1, so 3 alpha 2 is 6 minus 3. Alpha 2 is equal to 1. So alpha 1 is 1, alpha 2 is 1. Substitute it in the equation 1. So substitute alpha 1 and alpha 2 in equation 1. So when you substitute alpha 1 and alpha 2 in equation 1, we will get, let's see our equation 1, alpha 1 into 3 power n plus alpha 2 into n into 3 power n. So let's find out. An is equal to 1 into 3 power n plus 1 into n into 3 power n. So this is given as 3 power n plus n into 3 power n. Okay. Now we have got our general solution. This is our general solution. This is the final solution. But what I want to do is I just want to verify the solution whether we have got the correct general solution or not. So for that, I'll just verify it over here. So given that we have, let's check our initial conditions and also the next term by using this formula and our general solution. So A0 and A1 is given as, A0 is 1, A1 is 6, I believe. Yes, A1 is 6. Now, if we want to find A2 using the formula recurrence relation, it is 6A n minus 1. So A2 will be 6A1 minus 9A0. So A2 is given as 6 into 6 minus 9 into 1, 36 minus 9, which is equivalent to 27. Okay. Now, using the general solution, let's find our A2. A2 is 3 square plus 2 into 3 square. 3 square is 9, 2 into 3 square is 2 into 9. 9 plus 18 will give us 27. So you can see that our general solution is also correct, and we have found it by using both the recurrence relation and the general solution. What is the purpose of the general solution? The purpose of the general solution is that whenever we want to find A8, A10 or any other term in the sequence, then it is not necessary that we need the previous terms. So this is the theorem 2, that is whenever we have roots real and equal. So let's just summarize our two theorems so that we won't get confused when we are studying the next one. Suppose if we have the characteristic equation as, this is how I'm writing it. This is your theorem 1. Theorem 1 and theorem 2. So suppose if we have our characteristic equation as r square minus c1r minus c2 is equal to 0, and the roots are r1 and r2, which are distinct and real roots. In that case, our general solution will be En is equal to alpha 1 r1 power n plus alpha 2 r2 power n. Okay. Now, similarly, if we have r square minus c1r minus c2 is equal to 0, we have only one root, that is real and equal root. We have a root real and equal. Also, the condition is C2 should not be equal to 0. Okay, C2 should not be equal to 0, and we have a real and equal root. Then your general solution will be En is equal to alpha 1 into r0 power n plus alpha 2 into n into r0 power n, where alpha 1 and alpha 2 in both the cases are constant. So let me just write it here. Alpha 1 and alpha 2 are constants in both the cases. Okay, so this is for real and distinct, very important problems for LEQs, and you might get any one of the following in the exams. You have to identify the characteristic equation, then find the characteristic roots. Depending upon the roots, choose whichever theorem you are doing. So this is when you have only two roots. In the next problem, in the next theorem or the problem, we will see when we have more than two roots or multiple roots.